you have to do in Venezuela is sort of follow the Chavista and left-wing blogs and publications, and you'll hear the very left-wing supporters of Chavismo complaining about this dynamic. And so this has been gaining steam in a way, and that is certainly another way. That's another subgroup that helps the regime stay in power, the enchifadas or the boliburgueses or this new sort of bourgeoisie that has emerged under Chavismo, right? And I think that with the aspect of sanctions, and I mean, we've said this before. I think that, I don't pretend to guess exactly what President Trump would do, but our guess would be that if those sanctions were not renewed, obviously we would have Chevron and a bunch of other folks that have invested a lot of money into Venezuela and have been operating there for a while. They would be forced to leave, and that would mean that Venezuela would end up completely in the hands of Russian and Chinese interests. I don't know that that's necessarily the best avenue. Presumably this is something that the president is thinking about. So our guess is that probably those will get renewed, and in certainly other instances of sanctions, Iraq.
The waivers will get renewed.
Well, the waivers will get renewed, and certainly in other instances around the world where we've seen oil fiefdoms being sanctioned, you have always maintained some sort of access for Venezuela to come down when oil production is down, and that includes also expectations for graft. So there's a number of factors that I think play into it, but certainly the lower oil production goes, it's harder for Maduro and the regime to continue to run things the way they are accustomed to running things.
Yeah.
And that's continuously tricky, let's put it that way.
There's less money in the system.
Yeah.
The only point to that, though, is I think people assume that the Russians and the Chinese will kind of take over. If you take a look at the production curves of the Russian assets and the Chinese assets, they're not impressive. They're in the same exact boat as everybody else in Venezuela. The Russians don't operate their projects. The Russians have worse production curves than the Chinese projects do. Why in just a second, but the Russians are not going to invest massive amounts of money into oil production. So to a certain extent, they're almost better off with an opposition government that in terms of getting paid back. Now, the problem with the Russians is that they're almost paid back.
Right,
but I don't
and
see
the Chinese also.
And the Chinese are getting closer.
Yeah.
And the Chinese have proven unwilling to provide new loans.
Right.
Right. Chinese production did have an uptick. Petrolera Sinovenza is now operated by the Chinese, and this is actually kind of a new concept. But until that happened, their production was falling too. Look, they're subject to the same theft, criminality, hyperinflation, lack of human resources, you name it. They're subject to the same thing. So it's not a great business proposition for either the Chinese or the Russians. The Russians will stay for political reasons. The Chinese, like every other company, will stay to protect their interest and to try to maintain their foothold.